Welcome back, everybody. We're right here in the eastern side of Nashville. We're with an amazing guest, a guest that sings. She makes custom-made hats, as you can see right here on the side. Got us some nice boots, but she is a woman that inspires, that follows her passion, that follows her excitement. She motivates others around her. She's a true, pure soul, and we're speaking with her today and learning more about her life and how she sees life. Her name is Julielle. Right here. Hi, Julie. Welcome.
Cheers.
Hey, y'all. My name is Julielle. I'm a singer-songwriter, country artist in Nashville, Tennessee, and I met these guys literally this morning. We were making their hats, and just had such a great vibe, and thought, why not?
Exactly.
Why not have a chat?
So we were just simply chatting, because we make a vlog now as well, right? We're in the States, and before we came, we were like, okay, let's see, and perhaps the Americans are quite open and always they chat with everybody.
Yeah.
They're loud, as they say as well, right?
Well, the
Oh,
tourists
really?
in Europe, they always say the loud Americans, but yeah,
That's wild.
I think it has a reason, but I don't know why.
Oh,
It's-
well, you haven't been to Broadway yet, then.
I've been.
We
Oh,
were
well,
yesterday.
It was loud.
Then you know.
It was
Right.
loud.
Exactly. It's super loud. But no, but it's amazing. And we were like, let's just if we meet someone and that is inspiring, because that's especially what we do with our podcast,
Yeah.
then we want to speak to you. And you're the first woman on our podcast, so welcome.
Yeah.
It's a
I'm
privilege.
honored. That's
And we're
really
honored
cool.
to have you here as well.
Yeah.
So it's
Very cool.
amazing. So you're originally born in California.
Mm-hmm.
You moved here 3 years ago.
Yeah. I guess in June, 3 years.
How did that happen?
What?
How did that happen?
It kind of unfolded very naturally, and it's not something that I planned at all. I was playing with an indie rock band in California, in Santa Barbara. I actually went to Canada to do a little bit of schooling there and took some music classes, and then I was like, I need to make a band back in California. And so I found a band that did indie rock stuff like Arctic Monkeys, Strokes stuff, and we played for college kids, and it was like the most fun I had had up until then. And so I was like, okay, I really enjoy this performance aspect. Like, what can I do with that? So that kind of morphed into a duo. And then I tried to find a country band because I was getting more into country music. And so I was playing with this 4-piece country band, and it was so fun. And when I was playing with an indie rock band, I had a group of 4 guys that came into the bar that I worked at every day at 4 p.m. And they were like sweetest men. And one of them came to one of my shows and he's like, Julielle, what are you doing? Like, you need to be to Nashville like, right now. And I was like, well, I don't even know what even is Nashville. It's like I'd heard vaguely about it, but I never really looked into it. And then once I started to look into it, things just kind of fell into place where I was like, oh, this is where I could live. This is where I could work. I called every single recording studio in Nashville and tried to find a job, and I landed a job that didn't really work out in the end, but it got me here. And I'm like, okay, well, that's like, the universe just like giving you those opportunities, whether or not they follow through or not is like, it's whatever you make of it.
Yeah.
So that's what brought me here in general. Yeah.
And the fun part also is that you showed the studio where you record your newest world hit.
Oh,
And
world.
people will,
Yeah.
they will know it by now, I think.
Yeah, we'll put a link in the description below because it will be live by now.
But it was fun.
October 3rd, right?
Yeah, October 3rd.
That's also the first producer you worked with.
That's actually not the first producer I worked with. Back in California, our producer was our drummer. He was amazing. Had a really fun time doing that. And then when I first moved here, I had a producer named Chris Sly, and he's also incredible. Like, such a great, genuine person, and works with a lot of really great people. That was my first recording experience in Nashville, and it was perfect. Like, the songs that came out of it were amazing. The people we worked with were amazing. And then I found Nick, who I feel like I was more of like a friend with, and I kind of wanted to experience production personally, whereas I feel like sometimes going into a room with like session musicians, doing the songs and then mixing them later in like a studio, and then getting them sent to me is one thing, but also being involved in like the nitty gritty, like, we should take out the bass in this part. Like in that second verse in the song, it was an afterthought where Asher was like, oh, why don't we just take down the bass? I was like, why don't you just take it out? And then we all agreed that was like a really fun addition, and it totally changed the song. And you never know what that's going to happen. But if I wasn't in the room with him, then maybe that wouldn't have happened. So it's like, there's definitely benefits and drawbacks to both sides, but I just kind of wanted to experience the other one. Not that one is better than the other, but yeah.
So how long have you been working with music now? Because it's your passion, right?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
you're following your passion.
Definitely.
So that's
Yeah.
what we want to bring the audience, the people listening to this now and watching this,
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
to inspire them to follow their passion as well. So how was it for you? When did you figure out, like I think from a young age?
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I think I've always loved singing. I definitely was a shy kid, so um, it took me a while to get there. But I always sang by myself. I was really into like Hannah Montana growing up and like High School Musical, as we were talking about this
Yes.
before.
Yeah.
And so that shaped a lot of like my early childhood memories of music and such. But I've only been pursuing it professionally, like as Julielle, as a solo artist, for as long as I've been in Nashville. So just 3 years, and I've recorded 7 songs, and I play a few times a week, and I'm just like having so much fun meeting people and experiencing.
This morning when we met each other, you said, I'm so happy that I went to work today, because you do quite a few things, right? Like you're making custom-made hats, you
Mhm.
work a lot on your own, like your label, getting your brand out,
Mhm.
like your songs, of course.
Yeah.
And then you work at a bar as well.
Yeah. So I work at a custom hat store,
Yeah.
and I also
Gross.
do like private events. But yeah, it's really fun. I feel like they both kind of satisfy creative outlets for me when they don't feel like work.
Yeah.
But I get to meet really cool people, satisfy my creative outlet, and then do my work outside of that. And sometimes it gets a little much. But it's fun to meet people and see where it goes.
Yeah. So how was the first time on like a stage for you? Because the first time you get on a stage, I think even, but you were a shy kid as well. But
Yeah.
let's say the first time you get on stage, you gotta stand there, I think all alone, but you were
Mhm.
with like a band, I guess.
Well, the first time I sang in front of people, I was like 7 for 8, and I cried, like real
Yeah.
tears,
Because
real tears.
it's like, I don't know if it's the right word, but you gotta, it's a vulnerable position. You're standing there on your own. No one can help you anymore. It's a dive into the deep.
Mhm.
And how was it? How did you?
What was the fear? Yeah. What was the fear?
I don't remember, because I don't spend a lot of time thinking about that, honestly. It's like it's more of what can I learn from that? And at that point, I wasn't really cognizant enough to register that.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I think, well, the most recent one I can think of is I played at the Whiskey A Go Go, which is like a really legendary bar music venue in Hollywood. So it's like on the Sunset Strip. And that was kind of like a full circle moment for me, because not only are all of my friends and family that have helped me along the way going to be there, but it's like this crazy venue that we basically packed out. And it felt so good to be there and perform for the people who were there for me when I wasn't doing that, and not that I'm made it yet, and I feel like nothing's ever really to the end. It's like there's always going to be something that you're working towards. And so just enjoying the little things while it happens, I think, is the most important. Like we were eating chicken nuggets before we went on the stage, and that's like what I remember too, So just cherishing those moments. And I think when I'm on stage, I try to be as grateful as possible. It's like all these people came to see an art that came from me, which is really cool, just to be like that vessel for the art. So I think mostly gratitude on the stage for sure.
And the first time you went on stage, you were 7. You told us you cried.
Yeah.
But then you gotta get the courage, and when you're 7, I think that's very hard.
Yeah.
But you gotta have the courage to go a second time, and maybe not cry. But
right.
So maybe you don't know anymore. But the second time, was it like less scary?
Probably. I think it probably took me about 20 times until it wasn't scary being that age. But I think now
Every time you gotta have the courage to go again and again and again.
I think it's because I built a community there. It's like those people that I was singing in front of, it wasn't a random group of, I mean, it was in the beginning, but then as I started building relationships with them, feeling more comfortable with them, I think that gave me the confidence. And I'm not really sure if I would be able to do what I do now if I hadn't had those like formative experiences where I was like allowed to cry, I guess, in front of people, or allowed to have those emotions.
Yeah.
So I think that helps a lot.
Amazing. So because it's like for a lot of people that want to get themselves out there, or like either do singing, let's say someone listening to this right now wants to become a singer.
Yeah.
You have obviously some, like, perhaps about when you're good, but you need to have the courage to go and do it.
Yeah.
Because you need to figure out also how good you are.
Yeah.
But I think the most important thing is that you do it for yourself instead of thinking of doing it for someone else, right? And I think you have it because you do it from your own heart. You write your own songs and then you sing it because you need to bring over the emotion. When someone listens to you live, like when I get like, because I can be quite emotional as well, but like when I get like a little tear in my eyes or something like that, or like a goosebump, because that is what you need to, if you're able to bring that over to people, like the emotion and the goosebumps, then you hit the right notes.
Right. And also just creating that environment for people. Like I remember probably one of my last shows with the indie rock band in college. There was a couple in the corner and they were like kind of having a moment. And it was a song that I wrote. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like if I hadn't written the song, if I wasn't in this band, if I wasn't doing this, they would have never had that moment.
No.
And like
You created
just create that environment for people is so, it just keeps me going. Because I'm like, what is this all for? It's just to create an environment where we can enjoy life, enjoy the little things. It's life's what you make it. So why not put some music in it?
100%. So,
and a big part of being an artist, singer in your case, is also this day of age, the social media side of it.
Right.
Do you think there is a difference between stepping onto a stage and being there and presenting yourself and getting yourself out on social media?
It's an interesting question. I've never really thought about that
We
before.
talked a little bit before the show, of course, about the social media, and you told us some things I post on TikTok because I feel more comfortable with it, because on Instagram and the other socials, my family is on there and maybe they have an opinion, but
sure.
So there is like a difference between, because on stage you don't care if your family is there.
Sure.
You like it.
Yeah, well, I guess it's less about like who's watching necessarily. It's just kind of like the platform and like what it warrants, you know, because like TikTok, I feel like it's more raw feeling. And it's not just me, it's like everyone who posts on TikTok is like, they're not in very professional lighting and all these things. I do feel like that might change in the future. And I think as an artist now, you have to be willing to go roll with the punches and do whatever you need to do. I'm grateful that my family is very supportive of what I do. And like all my friends tell me how much they listen to the songs with their friends, their family, and how much they share it. And I really appreciate that. And if I can show up as my real self in a way that's like presentable and also engaging, like that's my favorite part, is like finding that middle ground where I feel comfortable and I feel like I'm putting my real self out, but it's not as like performative, you know? But obviously you have to have, you know, the polished things to send out to people and, you know, get yourself out, because obviously what you're doing is running a business.
You're building a brand,
But no one wants to, you know, invest or work with a business that isn't like, there's not a person behind it. They want to have that personal
people connect with
aspect.
people.
So exactly. And so I try to, I think I just naturally put myself out there in a personal way, which is a good thing and a bad thing in some people's eyes. And they can take it however they want, but just here to literally have fun. And I feel like I've learned so much about myself through posting on social media, like more than I would have thought. Because at first I was like, ooh, social media, like can't do that. But now I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to do a video of myself. Like I'm going to learn something, or I'm going to be better at something. I'm going to be 1% better at something else that I wasn't good at if I didn't do the video. Yeah.
I understand. Because do you have, because we often talk about the opinions of others, right? That is often an important, like something that people hang on.
There's a big deal of doing something they really want to do, but they are afraid of the opinion of others, and they like decide not to do. And in the car on the way to like where we are right now, we talked about this, and the biggest regrets you have in life is from the things you didn't do.
100%,
yeah. And I think the urge to put yourself out there just comes from just fearlessness, like not caring what they're going to think, or not even caring, but not even thinking about caring, you know, like you have to be completely oblivious to whatever. Like obviously it's good to know your surroundings and be cognizant of, you know, who you may be reaching and be cool with that. But I feel like if I had, how can I say this? Like when I first moved here, I didn't know how the industry worked. So I just put myself out there. I was just like, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. But when I got there, I was like, oh, this is harder than I expected. But I didn't know that it was going to be hard. So it's like, if you can remove yourself and like go back to that kind of like almost childlike mindset of like, I'm just going to do what I feel because it would be fun. And I think fun is the key word, because every time I'm like, oh, I'll just do this for fun, it's way better than anything. I'm like, oh, I thought I have to do this, So that applies to social media too, where I'm just like, this is fun for me.
Yeah. And if you're truly honest, do you think you've lost friends or people you were good with because you chose for yourself to follow your passion?
No. And I'm so grateful for that. And I feel like, if anything, I've just grown, my reach and my friend groups and stuff because of music. And I feel like everyone back home is super supportive of me. And I've never really had haters or anything, which I'm so grateful for. And I know that I have the support system so that if and when those people do come around, then I don't have people to,
You can just ignore it.
It's also because you said
good vibe.
you don't have haters, right? And that's because you do something which purely comes from your heart. And it's something beautiful that you bring, because singing songs and about whatever topic it is. Because what kind of topics? You sing about love?
Yeah, sometimes. I think I'm pretty new to the whole writing thing, so I haven't really been able to see any like patterns. I do gear in the realm of like empowerment, or seeing situations in a way that makes you better, which I think really complements your guys' podcast, because you talk about just mindset and how you can look at things, and how when you come from a good place, all the product is going to be good. So.
Exactly. Because basically, so to finish what I meant with that, because you do something, it's like with our podcast, you go fully, you're committed, you do it 100%, and it comes purely from your heart, right? So then you also will attract the right people that are meant for your content that you create. It's what we do as well. Like we don't have, and if someone says something, like we have such the confidence, which you also have in a positive way, not like egoistic way.
Sure.
That you won't attract the people that will be negative or speaking about you or give comments, you don't, because it's something positive that we share.
If so, I don't care.
And exactly, that is the best thing.
Right.
So when you do something, for people listening also, go do it 100%, be fully committed into it, and do it from your pure heart, which is the reason why you want to do it. And that's your passion, of course.
Definitely.
And because you sing a lot about empowerment, is so you have experienced things in life, because to get here where you are now, what are like one or two things that would be, which you have learned so much about, which other people could maybe learn something from?
In songwriting?
Like a lesson.
In like a lesson, like a life lesson.
Life lesson.
Yeah.
You can give a lesson to her
That's a good question.
about, she has this like vision, goals, aspirations.
Because now you know what you have experienced also, but back then you didn't know what you would experience. But something like, let's say, which was super difficult to get to where you're now with your singing, or like a setback, so to say. But you got out of it super strong, and it's something that you can give advice to now because you've experienced it.
Yeah. Well, actually, so I do have a good amount of setbacks, as everyone does in the music industry. But I feel like every time that happens, I find myself going back to one experience that I had outside of music that has helped me a lot within my musical career. And my mom reminds me of it a lot. But when I was a senior in high school, I tore my meniscus and it flipped on top of itself, and I sprained my ACL, like in the same go. And so I was in a wheelchair for my whole senior year, and it was really awful. And I hated it because I was in sports. I was doing all these things. And even when I was in the wheelchair, like I feel like people were just like kind of passed by me, and there was a lot of medication, a lot of pain, and it was just awful. I mean, and anyone who's been through surgery like that knows like the pain. But I remember that I didn't have anything. It was right when I was applying to colleges, and I didn't have anything to write about in the little section of like challenges and stuff. And I'm so grateful to have been brought up in such a supportive community. But then this was the challenge. And this is basically like what got me into college. So it's like I could have seen that as a setback, but then that was a challenge that I'd faced and overcame. And then it brought me to a whole nother era of my life. It's like, what would I have done if I hadn't had that experience? And like, would I have touched those college counselors that are like reading these, responses? Yeah. And so I think it's all about finding the silver linings. There's so many experiences that we have in life, but it's the way you look at it. And if you're able to find those things, those little things that get you just in general more happy, then you're able to attract better things and things get better. So yeah, I think it's just about like how you look at things. And every time there's a setback in my music or something doesn't go right, I'm like, okay, well, what's other thing is going to make it better, you know?
Yeah.
Or what other thing is
What is life learning?
better because of that, you know? Yeah. So
that's amazing.
Great lesson.
Yeah. So because you're 26 now.
Yeah.
And
that's a good memory. I told you that like 12 hours ago.
yeah, of course, yeah.
Then I can.
Yeah, right.
We only slept for 4.5 hours this night, and then we came to because we needed to get the head. You know, it's important.
Right.
We had an appointment at 9 o'clock. So
yeah. Well, and that was smart because it gets busy. So
great.
Yeah.
Because there was also, as we said, like
That's a lesson as well.
that we met each other at exactly 100%, but that we met each other, and now we sit here doing a podcast.
So what about that?
Your beliefs in life? Are you religious? Are you? How would you call yourself? What would you call yourself?
Yeah, that's actually funny that you bring that up because I've been thinking and talking a lot about this lately. It's like I'm Jewish. I grew up in the temple and I love the community surrounding that. I never really like thought that I 100% like believed in anything specifically. I think it was more just we went there for the community and I really enjoyed that. And I love the Jewish traditions and my family and how it brings us together and such like that. But recently, I've been thinking a lot about how I think about music. It's like a lot of these religions kind of center around faith and faith in something else, but also faith in yourself and how a higher being can kind of guide you in ways. And so I've been reading this book, The Universe Has Your Back by Gabby Bernstein. I've done a lot of thinking about the universe, but has like specific things that I can specific tasks that I can do to like sort of jog my memory. Yeah.
Get it into like practice.
Exactly. Yes. And more like hands-on reading, which I really appreciate it. And it's kind of like you have to have this mindset of trusting in general, whether it's in God or the universe or higher power or a light or whatever. But whatever works for you, and you have to find what works for you and then just trust in the universe that good things will happen. And I think that that shows up in a lot of religions as I study them as at an older age, maybe not taking them as literally, but understanding that they're all kind of based around the same principles. And I do appreciate that. And I can take what I need from many religions, but I don't necessarily like identify in faith. In tradition, I love being Jewish and I love Judaism, and my family lives in Israel and I love visiting them, and I feel really strongly about what's happening over there. And so it's hard to kind of like separate the two. But yeah, kind of just like being open to like trusting in some higher power that like good things will happen.
Definitely. So one of the main things that you've learned from that book, because let's say that someone is at a point now where they have a feeling of knowing what they want to do, like their passion, but they're still hanging into not doing that. You know, like it's doing the same job. Oh, fuck, Monday, I need to go again. What do you then, like, you might have had that. Have you had those days as well? Where you were at that point where you didn't really, that you had to take yourself out of it to leave something behind? Or what have you taken from this book that would, if now people listening and they are at that point where they're just not taking the action on following their passion, what mindset do you then, what would you recommend? What have you learned?
Very small steps at a time. And if something is not going the way that you want, you have to think laterally. So like you think about something completely different. So if, you know, a song doesn't do well on TikTok or streaming services, like, would you rather spend your time thinking about how that didn't go well? Or would you rather go for a nice sunset walk or like read a good book? And then when you're in this good like frequency vibration of like thinking, then all the other things just fall into place. And if they don't, then you have to trust that something else is out there for you. You know? And so if you're not specifically called to something, I think a lot of people here put a lot of pressure on themselves to, you know, be musical all the time and do things all the time. But if you just do what you're inspired to do, and then you go out and have different outlets, do other things, then it kind of keeps you balanced and keeps you kind of in that childlike mindset where you're just more open-minded about things in general. So, yeah.
If there's one quote you would give to the listeners, like you live by, this is a quote, this applies to my life.
Wow.
There's just one quote, you would summarize it as a final.
Many good ones. I don't know.
What do you have in the background?
Yeah, I was just about to say on my phone background. Oh, and I just got another affirmation from my I Am app. But it says, actually, you can. And I feel like that's so true. So
Yeah.
like, actually, you can. Whenever you have that negative self-talk and you're like, oh, I don't want to get up in the morning, or, I should want to do this, whatever. It's like, no, actually, I could.
You can.
So let this be a reminder that you can.
Actually, you
I
can.
think it's a very good closing for this
100%.
episode of the podcast.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Next time, if you want to follow Julielle Music,
Yeah.
and they can follow you on Spotify,
Instagram,
Apple Music,
everything.
YouTube.
Music.
We'll tag her in the description.
We'll link down there.
Yeah, this is so fun. Thanks so much for having me.
Exactly.
It's really
Next
cool.
time, I'm sure that our paths will cross again.
Definitely.
And next time we'll do a follow-up, see how it goes with the recent one. Part two, exactly. In our vlog, yes, the USA vlog will be, maybe the first or the second one will be live by now, or they're coming soon. But you can keep an eye on our Instagrams, our socials, and you're in there as well.
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
That's
Two
really
strangers from this morning, and here we are. Turn into cowboys.
You never know. Actually, you can.
Actually, you can.
You can.
Beautiful.
That's
Thank you.
I'm excited to see where your podcast goes. You guys are doing great things.
Going high up.
Yeah.
Rising.
For sure.
Thank you.